Well, hello, welcome. You're watching Headset VR. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to a brand new gaming video. Right, today we need to talk about something that's recently dropped in the UEVR world. And honestly, if you've been struggling to get smooth performance out of your DirectX 12 games in VR, you're going to want to stick with this one, because a new beta feature has recently landed that can generally change things for a lot of people. So stick with me and I'll show you exactly what's going on. So, what is alternate frame warping? Well, like I say, UEVR has recently pushed out a new beta build with a feature called AFW, or alternate frame warping for short. Or is it the other way around? And what it does, in plain English, is generate in-between frames. And that's kind of similar to how DLSS or FSR frame generation works in flat games, but it's built directly into UEVR itself. Now, the numbers being thrown around are up to 80% more FPS, which is staggering. And I want to be upfront with you about what that actually means, because I think it's important. Right, so AFW isn't your GPU suddenly becoming 80% more powerful. What it's doing is interpolating, generating synthetic frames between your real rendered frames. So your motion feels smoother. So think of it a bit like motion smoothing on your telly. Smoother? Yeah. Real extra render performance? No. Now, does that make it useless? Absolutely not. In VR, smooth motion comfort is everything. And if AFW gets you from an uncomfortable 20, 30 or 40 something FPS to feel something like it actually works really well in the headset, then this is a genuine quality of life upgrade. Like I say, just go in with the right expectations. Right, so which games are going to benefit from this? Well, this is the key bit. AFW in UEVR is specifically for DirectX 12 titles. So if you're running a DX11 game, this one's not for you just yet. But DX12 covers a massive chunk of modern games. So Silent Hill 2 Remake has already been confirmed working, which is brilliant. So look out for that on the channel soon. And that's why it's been a heavy hitter really in VR. And really any demanding DX12 title you've been struggling with in UEVR is worth testing. The community has been sharing the results across Reddit and Discord, and the response has been generally positive overall. So how do you actually switch this on? You'll need the UEVR beta build for this. There'll be a link in the description. Now, it's not the main release just yet, but once you've got that installed and you're in game with the UEVR overlay open, head into the runtime settings and you should see the alternate frame warping option there. Now, I am going to do a full setup guide for every game that I play using AFW coming up soon, basically. So look out for a bit more detail when those videos drop. And this is really important. Do not stack it with other frame generation tools. If you're using virtual Desktop's SSW or your GPU's own frame gen, turn those off first. Like I say, stacking multiple frame gens can cause all sorts of problems. So one at a time. Enable AFW, disable the others, and then give it a go. Now, this is a beta, so a fair old bit of experimentation might be needed depending on your game and headset. But the foundation's there and it's working well for a lot of people. Let's be completely honest about this. I'm going to give you 3 pros and 2 cons. So this is my verdict. And then what we're going to do is we're going to show you a little example of it in a game. So the pros: 1, for borderline playable DX12 games in UEVR, AFW can generally push them into comfortable territory. And that's a big deal. So 2, it's free. It's in a free mod, and it requires no extra hardware. Although if you're using AMD like me, then there might be a couple of other things you might need to do. But like I say, we'll go through that. Now, number 3, the community reaction has been really strong about this. And when VR people get properly excited about something, like I say, it usually means it's actually delivering. Now, the cons. Synthetic frames are synthetic frames. Fast head movement or a quick action moment can reveal the interpolation. VR can be quite unforgiving on artifacts in a way that flat gaming isn't. So number 2, it's a beta. So some game profiles won't behave perfectly straight out the box. So you have to have a little bit of patience. Don't expect it to work with every single game that you try it on. But overall, honestly, for a free update to a free mod, this is a bloody brilliant step forward for UEVR and for PCVR generally. So if you're running DX12 games in UEVR, give it a go. Let me know how you get on. Pop your results in the comment section. What game you played, what headset you used, what difference did you notice? I'll respond to every single comment. And if you have found this useful, do me a solid. Give the video a thumbs up, it generally helps the channel out, and subscribe if you haven't already for regular VR content, UEVR guides, new releases and hidden gems. Okay, right, so I'm going to start just by giving you a little bit of a demo of how AFW works. I'm in a game called Lunar Abyss. It's not really here about the game, it's about the FPS, and what you can see is the increase. So if you look in the top right hand corner, this game is actually flat at the moment. You can see on the Steam FPS tracker, I'm running over 220 FPS just stationary. So just on mouse and keyboard, if we jump about, move, have a bit of a wobble, etc. Apologies for the movement. And you can see it's pretty much floating at 200 FPS. So there is a new UEVR to download. Okay, so this is the AFW UEVR, and as normal, double click on it and you'll be presented with this menu here. Now, this isn't really about the injection process or anything like that. This is just a demo to show you the benefits of AFW, what it's done for this game. So I already have a profile already in my settings, so I don't need to inject anything, but just doing the basic things. The pull down menu changed to Lunar Abyss. I'm using a Quest 3, so we've got OpenXR. As you can see up here still, the FPS, it's floating about 250 static. And what you need to do, well, for this particular game, sometimes it might change. We just go into the game settings and go into video. And if we just scroll down a little bit, we've got enable DLAA and DLSS level. We're not going to touch those just yet. So let's go back into the game with UEVR back up. I've got the link cable enabled. I'm sitting ready. I just need to inject. So let's hit inject. So the game will inject into VR now. Keep your eyes on the FPS in the top right hand corner. Right, as you can see, it's dropped down now to 120 FPS. Now I'm also going to pull the UEVR menu to the side. I've also got the UEVR FPS tracker, so you can see here it's floating around 130 FPS. Now that is purely because I have alternate rendering already enabled. So where you find this is in the Unreal tab. If you just go to native stereo, and you can see I'm getting 60 FPS. And if we switch this over to AFR, the alternate rendering, we've got 130 FPS. Now, I did also mention about DLSS. Now, if you change your DLSS mode, like from quality to performance, you may need to restart the game as it might not show any benefits. Let's just give you an example of that. So go to the menu, options, and if we just go over to the video tab, scroll all the way down. Oh, and as you can see, DLSS level is off and enable DLAA is also ticked off. So we're going to tick both of those on and keep your eyes on the FPS tracker as well. So if we put that onto, let's just say quality, and then we'll go back into the game, and it's dropped down to 60 FPS. Now this is unusual. It doesn't usually do this for most games, but for this one it does. So you might need a little bit of messing around with the settings. Some of the profiles may already come with things enabled, but in this one, turning off DLSS, if we just go back and show you, if we turn that off and DLSS off, and it goes back up to 130. Now there is something you may mention or may remember if you've watched this channel before. Hang on, you don't have a DLSS card. No, you're right, I don't. I've got an FSR card. Anyway, regardless of that, you can see what the alternate frame warping has actually done for this game. I mean, 130 FPS. It's staggering. It really is. So, I mean, it's not going to be exactly the same on every single game, but that's what we've got on this one. So it means effectively you can potentially bump up some of your other settings if you so wish. But the whole point is it's to show you that 130 FPS. Well, I mean, at the moment you can see I'm getting 260, which is absolutely bonkers in VR. Anyway, so I'm going to jump out of the game and I'm going to show you how you set this up with an AMD card. Right, so here is a link for AFW where you download it. As it says, it is in beta. It'll tell you a bit of information about this. Straightforward installation. It's like using another UEVR, and basically you've got, if it requires the Joey Hodge fix, then you've got the Joey Hodge AFW there, and if it's the normal nightly, you've got the normal nightly version just here. But anyway, for AMD users, you'll need to download something called OptiScaler to trick your PC into thinking that you're using DLSS. Right, so here we go. Get the build from here, and you just scroll all the way down, and this is where you download OptiScaler from. So you download that, and I've got this already downloaded in my downloads here. So these are all the files. Now, what you need to do is find the OptiScaler DLL just here, and you need to rename it. I'm going to show you in a second what you need to rename it as. So let me just open Steam up and go into Library, and we're going to find Lunar Abyss. And if I right click on Lunar Abyss and browse local files, and then here I'll go into the Lunar Abyss folder, binaries and Win64, and here you can see the Lunar Abyss exe. Now when you look here, it won't have all these files. So if I just close a couple of these down, so what you basically need to do is get this OptiScaler DLL just here and rename it to this DXGI.ll. Copy all of these files over and drop them into the same location as the game.exe. Put those in there, and then all you do from there is launch the game like you would normally and inject UEVR as you would normally, using the profile or without. And of course, from there, you've seen the rest. So that is what you would do as an AMD user. And yes, you will have to do this for every single game that you're using AFW on. Okay, anyway, I'm going to end the video there. I hope this has been helpful for somebody out there. It has been very helpful for me. Playing this game on 130 to 230 FPS is quite mind-blowing. And this isn't the end of it. Like I say, it does work for a lot of other games. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. This is Headset VR, giving a little demo on AFW using a game called Lunar Abyss. Anyway, thanks very much. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.